Hey there, everyone. A very quick update. Unfortunately, I didn't make as much progress as I would have liked for this video, but progress nonetheless. So we'll get right into it. So far, I've used primitive elements in here: frames, ellipses, rectangles, and no images, which is, kind of critical to make up a wheel. Um, so I've made a little bit of progress on this. Um, so before I go into the wheel item template, I'll go into custom images. So this is something that I was using before for this particular theme anyway, um, where I could create a custom image for my entire game collection and then basically render the whole thing. Um, but that would mean I would be storing, I think it was maybe 5,000 plus PNGs on my drive. Okay. And then anytime I added more ROMs, I would have to render those images as well. All right. Um, so as nice as it was, or as cool as it was to have this feature, obviously this is going to be superseded with the new wheel item template. All right. So we'll try and replicate this. And I have some caveats, but we can at least design it. So I'm now going to get rid of all the primitives on here. All right. So we've just got the image canvas, and I'm going to leave it at 500 by 500. It doesn't really matter. And let's see. It's all going to be image based. So have an image, and you're familiar with all of this. I'm going to point this to wheel item images, metal outline. I might as well line or ring. All right, let's add a couple more. All right. Um, glass. I want that below the ring. This is going to be screenshot. Want that full screen. They're all full screen. All right. So screenshot, metadata, and I'm looking for game screenshot. It's there. Let me just switch off this one a second. All right, so screenshot. What I want here is opacity mask, wheel item images, and background. Let's go back up. Instead of making it uniform, let's make it fill, so it fills that space. And now we're going to go to glass. And there you go. All right. Now the caveat is static images work just fine in the wheel item, and I'll show you that in a sec. But anything that uses metadata at the moment will not show up in the view. That's code that I'm currently working on. But as you can see, I'm allowing this to be designed within the template itself. If I wanted, let's say, another image, metadata, let's say Mm, game clear logo. Oh no. Align. I think that's okay. And I can position this so it's more mm, kind of towards the bottom and whatever, but you get the idea. So I'm just going to leave it as is. So that's the template. All right, so you get the idea. I mean, the logo is kind of off kilter because I really need to put it inside a parent container and I want it centered and I want it at the bottom and all this kind of stuff. But for the time being, I'm just going to leave it the way it is. But as you can see, it's showing you what the wheel item will look like based on the selection I'm making on the left. And again, I can choose a different platform. This is no different to anything else that we have in place. Okay. All right. Now, I'll go back to the view that uses this template. And unfortunately, like I mentioned, it's only using the static images. It's not pulling in the metadata. The metadata for things like clear logo, file path, and screenshot file path, and all this kind of stuff is all stored within each wheel item within the wheel. In Big Box, all that information is available and addressable, but within the designer or within the CTC, it is not. Okay, so the code I'm currently working on is the interface between the Launchbox um, XML database and the editor, just so that I can fish for those metadata values and then translate them, and the images will be displayed. Now, obviously, in the theme creator, that is going to be a slower process than you would experience in Big Box. But again, at least this way, it will show the metadata, and you get an idea of what your wheel will look like before you actually publish code. So when you publish code, the performance will be just fine. Within the editor, it will be sufficient for what you're trying to achieve. But like I said, um, the extra processing is really to fetch all the associated metadata per wheel item that's being displayed on screen. So I'm not quite there yet. I was hoping to have the code in a more kind of usable um, way prior to this video, but that's just not going to happen. It'll probably be next weekend. Okay, it's just going to take a bit of time. Um, but the most important thing was, unlike the image element that you're familiar with that you can use in custom images and views and whatnot, it essentially takes all the binding values, all the metadata values from whatever game or platform is currently selected right now, and it uses those to display whatever image you want to use. And like I said, the difference with the wheel item image versus that one is that the wheel item image takes its metadata values from each of the different wheel items, not the current selected platform or game. So that's the difference, and that's why it's taken me a while to get this code up and running. All right, but you can do. I mean, I can add another. Whoops, I didn't want to go into the view. You can do things like let's see. If I go back into wheel item template, I'm going to add another static image. Actually, what I'm going to do is replace the glass. Just going to make this say logo. I got one in here somewhere. Yeah. All right. And then for this, so for example, if I've got a whole bunch of elements that I only want displayed when the wheel item is selected, it's best to put it in a container and then have visibility conditioning on that container. So that way you're not adding all these conditions to multiple elements, you're just doing it on one. All right, so I'm going to add a canvas. Whoops. And make that full screen. I'm going to drop the logo into the canvas. I'm not going to make that full screen. I'm just going to drop it here. It doesn't really matter. And then what was I going to do? Oh yeah, so visibility conditioning. So I want it collapsed. Well, it doesn't. Actually, it doesn't make any difference which way. So I'll make it visible and then collapse it when item selected is no. All right. And why have I lost my condition? Okay, it's there. All right. So let's see. Now, if I go back to my view, I have the static logo on the selected item. So if I pick a different game, and that's how you can control that. So I have another binding value or another metadata field that you can leverage, which will tell you whether or not the item in the wheel is currently selected, and if so, you can display additional stuff or hide stuff or whatever you want to do. In this case, I'm showing stuff when it's selected, otherwise it's gone. All right, so that's the progress that I've made on the wheel item template so far. It's getting there. At least the images are displaying, even though that they're static, but it's a start. And there was another thing that I wanted to show too, and it's been there for a while. It's something I've been playing with, but just to let you know, let's see, let's switch off the audio. All right. So let's see, do I have a frame? May have a canvas, I don't know, probably not. No. All right, let's just add a canvas. So I have a canvas and I'll click on the canvas and I'll scroll all the way down to the bottom. Okay, so this is something that is definitely not ready, but I was just playing with the idea of instead of just giving a little descriptive text about what the element does, is actually be able to click on a link, and even though it's just showing just a random YouTube video, the idea being is I would have helper videos out there that pertain to a particular UI element and its properties. You click that, it will open up the video. You can play it, you can close it, whatever. That way to help you out. Okay. Um, so that's kind of down the road. This is just a bare bones attempt at kind of punching up a YouTube video. Um, so we'll see. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I've just been working on the wheel item template, and really just trying to get the images working and get a building block of code um, that works and similar to what I'm used to, or how I build the building blocks everywhere else for images, um, and then along with some code fixes and whatnot based on bugs that I've introduced in this build. So I'm trying to clean up as I go. Uh, try to anyway. All right. So anyway, like I said, that is a very brief update on where I'm at. Still working on it. Like I said, I have to build or I have to kind of complete the interface between the Launchbox database and the CTC in order to get all the metadata fields pulled from each of the wheel items within the wheel. So there's an awful lot of back and forth, changing the code, testing it within here, and all kinds of different permutations that I have to go through. But yeah, it's looking pretty good, and performance so far is what I would expect it to be. It runs well within Big Box when I generate the code. So yeah, I think you're going to be very happy with it. But anyway, I'm I'm done. I've got nothing else to show you for now. Give it a week or so, and I'll put out another video. And fingers crossed, I have an awful lot more to show off. Okay, take care, everyone. I'll see you in the next video.